You are 100% right. This person is trying to kill you very badly. The name is. Archangel Michael says, the truth you feel crawling under your skin is not paranoia but a bell that has been ringing for a long time, and tonight I place my hand over it so you can hear every strike clearly, because the one who smiles near you is sharpening a private storm with your name carved into it. You felt it in your bones first. The way certain rooms go quiet when you enter. The way a message arrives with too many dots, too many pauses, like someone testing the edge of a blade with their thumb. You are not imagining it. The air around you has learned to hold its breath. I am here to break the hush. I am here to tell you what the hush has been hiding. I am here to set your courage on its feet, even as the shadow that studied you from corners begins to notice that you are noticing back. Every day carried a small omen you stamped down, a door that never fully closed, a ringtone that used to be yours now echoing from someone else's pocket, a piece of mail with the back flap steamed open and pressed shut with a stranger's impatience. You tried to call it a coincidence, but coincidence never writes your name in dust across a windowsill. It begins where fear often hides, in the ordinary. A water glass turned a quarter-inch, the curtain pulled an extra finger's length, the scent of a cologne you don't wear walking past your pillow. Our hearts are good at forgiving these things, because the heart would rather believe in accidents than accept the shape of a knife. Listen to me. Your life is a lighthouse and someone wanted to blow out the bulb and say the night did it. They rehearsed your silence in their head long before they practiced your goodbye with their lips. This is the blunt truth that trembles the floorboards. Intention is in the room. You will feel it most when the day is soft. In laughter that lands a fraction late. In an apology preloaded with excuses. In a hand that helps you up then checks your pockets without moving. That is not care. That is inventory. They watched you learn your exits. They watched the routes you take to buy bread or breathe. They learned where light pools at your door and where darkness drips from your stairwell. What they could not learn, what they hate, is the part of you that refuses to die. That stubborn brightness. That iron in your throat when you say no. This is a message about edges, about thresholds and the voice that stands upon them. You are not a target. You are a witness to their hunger and you are a survivor ahead of their plan. You are a door that has found its lock and a window that knows how to scream when opened wrong. I need you to remember the first strange day, the one where your favorite mug cracked at the handle, the one where your shoes were by the wrong mat, the one where a friend spoke about your secrets as if someone sold them wholesale. These are breadcrumbs, not accidents. These are the plot points they hoped would blur when you cried. The danger tried to shape itself around your schedule, pretending to be patience, pretending to be fate. It doesn't know what to do now that you are awake. Wakefulness is a siren to the dark. It turns predators into pedestrians. You feel the name press against your tongue in the shower. You see the letters float in condensation on the mirror. You hear it caught inside other names people say around you, as if the room is practicing the reveal in slow motion. That is not madness. That is your intuition pushing through cement to hand you the envelope. When the lights flicker, trust your body. When your stomach drops for no reason, trust it. When your pet refuses to cross a doorway they crossed yesterday, trust them too. Animals know what we pretend to misplace. They see the second face behind the first. The person you think of third is the one I am bringing forward first. They train themselves to be likable. They keep their voice at a temperature that suits everyone else's tea. They are always near the answers, never the questions. They will tell you they were only joking with your safety. You did not invite this story, but you are its author now. New rule: your breath belongs to you. New rule: your house does not let harm sit down. New rule: you do not explain your boundaries to anyone planning to break them. This is not cruelty. This is how doors stay on their hinges. Behind their smile is a list. You are item 1 through 10. After your name they wrote a time, then crossed it out, then wrote another. They don't want a moment. They want your quiet. They don't want your wallet. They want your light. That is why they have been failing. Your light refuses to be counted like cash. You will notice how they study your hands when you hold keys, how they mirror your words to learn the codes to your friends, how they ask about your childhood, not to comfort you, but to map where your ghosts live so they can wear them like costumes. You owe them nothing of you. Let the map burn. This is the shape of the night they planned, a call that goes to voicemail, a door that doesn't latch, footsteps that decide to be loud only after the hallway turns. I am not telling you this to seed dread. I am telling you so your courage can meet a shape with a shape. Fear without form is panic. Fear with form is strategy. You will begin to speak less around them, and you will feel your power return like blood to a sleeping hand. They will say you are cold. Let them shiver. They preferred you as a warm room where they could hang their threat like a coat. In a moment, the name will arrive. Not as a shout, but as a bell. Before it does, feel your spine straighten. You have a right to your next hour. You have a right to tomorrow's small miracles, the apple you will slice, the song you will hum while searching for a pen, the friend who will text at the exact minute you needed not to be alone. The note under your doormat is not a love letter. The follower request with no posts is not curiosity. The car that idles the extra minute outside is not lost. Trust the translation your bones already know. You are the city learning its own language back. Every plan they built has rotten beams. I am pointing at each one. Their partner in whispers has grown afraid. The hardware clerk remembers a question that didn't match a project. A neighbor who never looks remembers a face too clearly. The world is stitching up behind you as you walk forward. The past tried to make you quiet. That is over now. Your voice is the voltage in this room. The name that comes next does not get to own you. It is context, not destiny. It is a location, not an instruction. In someone's cloud drive is a folder labeled with your initials. It contains screenshots of your joy, because they have never learned how to make their own. They are trying to build a stage for your exit while standing on nothing. They are an architect of smoke. Hear me, your power is not a performance. It is a steady thing, like a lamp that refuses to flicker even when the storm puts its hands all over the wires. You do not need to become anything new to be safe. You only need to be what you already are without apology. And now, the reveal you have been half ready for since the first time you saw their eyes slide off your face and land on what you own. The name that scratched itself into the air finally holds still. Long enough to read. The one who has been arranging shadows and practicing your silence is not a stranger in your story. The name is Cade. Remember it only as a warning label, not a prophecy. If a different name fits the outline in your life, your body will match it to the silhouette. The important thing is not the syllables, it is the recognition that the threat has a shape and the shape is not you. Valor rehearsed your collapse because it let them feel taller. They told their reflection your secrets to see if the mirror would crack. They loved your confidence the way a thief loves a locked door, an invitation to practice, not respect. Their admiration was just reconnaissance. They tried to plant storms in rooms you love. But rooms learn their owners. Your walls, your bed frame, your favorite chair, even your old blue towel, have whispered your name enough times to remember who belongs and who doesn't. The house itself disobeys their hands. Notice how their timing fails now that you are watchful. Notice how small accidents don't find you. Notice how the light seems to change sides and follow you from room to room. That is the world keeping pace with your awareness. It is not magic, it is alignment. They will try charm one more time. They will try anger after that. They will try to borrow your pity and wear it like a pass. Do not give them the garment. Pity is the door they draw keys for. Let them stand outside weathered by the truth of their own making. If the night reaches for you, reach back with presence, not panic. Turn on the lamp. Name the fear out loud so it can't move like mist. Choose company when the hour is thin. Keep your phone where your hand remembers it without looking. This is not living in fear. This is living awake. Your victories will be mundane and perfect. You will lock a window and feel a knot undo between your ribs. You will throw away a gift that always made you tired to hold. You will walk a different street and find the sky agreeing with you. You will gather your documents and put them where your future can find them. You will teach the night your routine without telling it your secrets. You will stop answering messages that need the energy you need. You will choose silence that is yours over noise that belongs to someone's agenda. When Veleran realizes the plot has become a paper boat, they will try to pretend they were never near the water. They will laugh too loudly. In public rooms, they will bring up old stories where they saved you from something small. One boundary at a time, one kindness at a time, one steady breath after another. The world is not smaller because you choose safety. The world is finally the right size. And when you lie down tonight, know this: nothing planned in darkness outruns a life lived in the open. Nothing drawn with bad hands on a stolen map tells you where to go. You are not a destination for anyone's hunger. You are a horizon no threat can reach. Close the door you need to close. Open the window you choose to open. Stand in your room like it belongs to you. Because it does. Because you do. You were right. The danger had a name. Now you have one too: survivor, builder, keeper of mornings. You are the one who walks out of this chapter holding the only thing that mattered: the pen. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, "The storm that tried to memorize your footsteps is breaking apart as you step into yourself with both feet, and every breath you take now draws a brighter border around your life that no shadow can counterfeit. Your room remembers you. The mirror holds your gaze steady like a guard. The door understands that you are the one who decides who crosses. The old tremble still tries to visit your hands on slow afternoons. Let it pass through without furniture to sit on. Your steadiness is a house with no chair for fear. You will notice how the corridors that used to narrow now widen in the mind. You will notice how the night's vocabulary shrinks when you stop translating it into dread. You will notice how your name sounds heavier and kinder when you say it alone in the kitchen. The calendar on your wall is not an accusation, it is an invitation. These next days belong to a person who knows the difference between caution and captivity. You are free inside good locks. Veleran's shadow runs on borrowed batteries. The moment you unplug attention, the lights in their theater dim. The seats empty without spectacle. There is a drawer in your place that used to keep small chaos. Empty it and put in things that return you to yourself. A spare key for calm, a photograph where your eyes are not apologizing, a note that says you are allowed to end conversations that end you. You learn to listen for doors at night. Now you learn to listen for morning. Morning makes a soft sound when it settles. It puts both hands in the sink with the dishes and makes them light. The phone that once felt like a trap becomes a tool again. You answer who deserves your yes. You leave the rest in the bin where it cannot climb out. Breathe like it is a habit older than fear. Walk like your shoes remember the map from before anyone else drew it. Eat like nourishment is a small ceremony in a world that tried to starve your confidence. You can keep the facts simple without making yourself small. This person tried to turn your life into an exit. This person no longer makes the map. There is a language for relief. It sounds like the kettle when it finishes, like the page when it turns, like a friend's message arriving exactly on time. Teach your days to speak it often. Your spine is a lighthouse post. Your heart is the lamp. Your boundaries are the glass that refuses to fog no matter how the storm breathes on it. People who love you will see the steadier pattern in your step. They will adjust their own stride to match the new tempo. The room you enter with them will not ask you to shrink to fit. You catalog small victories without turning them into trophies. The curtain sits where you left it. The hallway stays honest. The lock answers on the first turn. A memory comes wearing yesterday's color. You let it stand under today's sun until it fades to the truth. The truth is that you were brave even before you knew it. You draft a list with the clarity of someone who returned from a bad road. Items read like kindnesses that have learned martial arts. Rest, hydrate, call a friend, step outside, laugh without asking permission. Your sleep learns your name again. It says it like a lullaby that does not owe anyone else a verse. It lays a soft hand on your shoulder and keeps watch while you travel the quiet. If the world tries to test the hinges, you let the door prove itself without panic. You built it with patience and intelligence. It holds because it was meant to. The plan that was drawn against you dissolves like chalk in rain. Nothing designed in secrecy survives exposure to your ordinary joy. Joy is ultraviolet to malice. You walk the places that used to carry echoes. The echoes fall behind and forget their lines. Your steps write new sound. When conversation returns to the topic of danger, you talk about it the way you would talk about weather that has passed. It was real. It moved on. You did not drown. The voice that warned you still sits in your chest like a reliable fire alarm. You clean it, you test it, you trust it. And you do not let anyone pop the battery. That is what loyalty to yourself looks like. You do not owe a post-mortem to anyone who hoped for your silence. You owe your energy to your next breath and your next clear choice. Turn toward them like a plant leans toward windows. Your house grows more itself as you do. The table becomes a command center of peace. The chair becomes a throne of everyday dignity. Veleran's mythology shrinks each time you speak plainly. It deflates under your accuracy. It cannot feed on you when you stop serving it dinner. A future scene parks itself gently on your horizon. You are in a room where music plays at a volume that respects breath. You are laughing at something that is actually funny. This is what survival purchases with interest. You find old objects that once carried unease and teach them new work. A key becomes a charm for your readiness. A photograph becomes proof that you are unmistakably alive. The person in the glass looks like someone who crossed a bridge and did not let it burn them. The river below does not get to name you. The far bank is where your next garden waits. You plant something small on a windowsill. You watch it choose the light without asking. You learn from it in silence that does not punish. The city around you rearranges to match the new outline of your courage. Familiar blocks wear kinder faces. Unfamiliar corners grow less curious about your business. You speak to yourself as you would to someone you are responsible for protecting. The sentences are short and generous. The tone is calm even when the day has teeth. You give your attention to what returns it with interest. Some people answer with steadiness, others with static. You keep the steady and turn down the static. A song from years ago returns with new meaning. The melody does not demand. It accompanies. You let it walk beside you from the bus stop to the door. You keep one light on a timer. You decide when it greets you. You become the person who calls safety into the room like a host calls friends to the table. The old habit of apologizing for taking up space loosens and falls away. Your posture changes by a small angle that changes everything else. The world notices because you do. When you work, you stay with the task like a swimmer who trusts the water. The current carries the right direction because your strokes are clean. You do not rush to prove anything. Veleran's last trick is boredom dressed as news. You recognize it and walk past. Not every knock deserves a door. The weather on your street chooses mercy the way you choose boundaries. Even the wind behaves like it understands tenderness. The sky gives you a soft hour just because it can. You cook something that fills the place with a scent that belongs to you. The recipe becomes a map for staying present. Each step reminds your hands that they have better work than fear. Your phone buzzes less because your life is not advertising vacancy. The messages that do arrive glow with mutual respect. They leave both sides brighter. You put your name on a plan 3 weeks from now. It is not grand. It is honest. Honest plans are fortresses. There is a drawer with a spare charger and a clean notebook. Put a few sentences in that notebook each night. It will become a lighthouse log of survival. If you cross paths with the old shadow in public, your body will know the script without drama. A nod that says nothing. A posture that offers no entrance. A step that continues into your afternoon unbent. The city has 1,000 safe routes and you are mapping them with your new feet. Each street you claim becomes lighter by an ounce. Your pockets feel that difference and swing easy. When your chest tightens unexpectedly, you answer with the breathing you practiced. In for 4 counts, hold for 4, out for 6. The numbers are a bridge, not a command. Your room at dusk becomes a place where lamps make small moons. You move through them like a steady tide. The night learns your new shoreline and stays respectful. You no longer scan for danger like a radio stuck between stations. You check the essentials and then let your mind return to color. That is what health sounds like. Days begin to stack correctly again. They do not wobble under the weight of vigilance. They carry you like a good staircase. You carry a sentence in your pocket for the rare moments you need it. Not today. Not here. Not me. The world hears it even when you whisper. The mirror shows a face that knows the value of being unbothered. Unbothered is not careless. It is curated. It is the art of choosing absence for what harms and presence for what heals. Your friendships grow roots deeper than before. Crisis taught you which voices hold during wind. You water those roots with routine kindness that asks for nothing back and gets everything anyway. You allow yourself small indulgences that honor survival without turning life into a shrine for pain. A new cup that fits your palm exactly. A blanket that remembers warmth like a duty. A plant that does not die just because last winter was unkind. Valorin becomes a rumor you once heard about yourself. The rumor fails to thrive in air that is full of facts. The fact is that your heart kept time through every bad song and now plays its own music. You discover that calm has flavors. Some taste like mint on the tongue after a hard day. Some taste like rain through a screen with windows open. Some taste like the word home when you are the one saying it. You take a photograph of sunlight on the floor at noon. You do nothing with it except keep it. Proof that light arrives even where fear once sat. A future carefulness becomes muscle memory, not a cage. You lock doors because you love the life inside, not because you worship the intruder outside. Love is better fuel than fear and lasts longer. You go to bed with the knowledge that your night will be a bridge and not a battlefield. You wake with the understanding that mornings can be allies when invited. You treat both with respect and receive it back. Your story continues without a villain in the center. Heroes are quieter than songs suggest. They make lunches. They answer emails. They survive and then they live. If another shadow ever tries to take your measure, they will find a shape that refuses to be traced. They will find a light source that moves. They will find a door that opens only to the person whose name is on the lease of this life. You will know this is true when you catch yourself smiling for no reason in the middle of old terrain. That smile is a certificate. It says you did not surrender. It says you reclaimed your hours. The world is full of rooms that will treat you right. You enter them now like someone who knows the rent has been paid. You sit where your spirit fits. You keep the evidence of your survival in places where your fingers can reach without searching. Not as a museum, but as a toolbox. Tools do not mourn. Tools build. A stranger on a train laughs and the sound sends a message that everything ordinary still exists. You receive the message and send one back by being here. Presence is a reply. You teach your future self by writing a line on a small card and hiding it in a place you will forget on purpose. When you find it later, it reads like a gentle instruction. Keep going because you already began. The sky above your neighborhood keeps changing clothes and you keep matching it with a steadiness that does not need permission. Clouds pull their soft armor over the light and the light learns to arrive sideways. You notice and call it grace without ceremony. Your body is the first home you protect, and it thanks you by walking you into rooms you used to avoid. Rooms respond by becoming neutral again. Neutral is a triumph when chaos tried to rent it. The narrative that once kept you up at night now respects the door hours. It does not knock after evening. It does not demand that you fix it. It sits in the file where finished things go. You schedule a quiet day on purpose. Nothing grand happens. You do not chase fireworks. You let the gentle lamps of time stay on and guide you to bed. Tomorrow does not need to apologize for being simple. Tomorrow is allowed to be the kind of day that makes no announcement and still counts. You are allowed to measure success in the absence of harm. If anyone tries to tell you that vigilance is the only proof of survival, you smile and continue your walk. Attention can be a knife or a blanket. You choose softness where you can and steel where you must. The name that once rang like an alarm now lies silent on the floor of a memory you no longer visit. You step over it on your way to the kitchen. The kettle sings. The day begins again on your terms. You write your initials on the corner of the plan for next month. The ink dries and does not smudge. Ownership is a quiet pleasure. People who once failed the test of your safety receive the grade without appeal. You do not hold hearings for harm. Your courtroom is closed except for love. Your laughter returns without asking for credentials. It wears no disguise. It fills the hallway and startles the dust into flight. Sleep drops its cloak over your shoulders and you accept it like a friend who learned your language. You do not promise anything except tomorrow. Tomorrow accepts. You wake with the shape of your life settled exactly where it belongs. You stretch. You stand. You step into a day that recognizes you before you even speak. This is how the story holds. Not with a drumbeat of fear, but with the reliable hum of a life reclaimed. Not with fireworks, but with a porch light that never forgets its job. Carry on with the knowledge that your safety is not a performance for others to grade. It is a practice you live in. It is the way your feet touch the floor and bless it with steadiness. Walk forward and let the air remember your weight as a promise, not a burden. Let the light agree with your outline. Let your name remain the only name with authority within your skin. Your chapter continues, not with spectacle, but with sovereign peace. Your rooms, your keys, your breath, your next small joy. This is the country you govern now, and it is unshakable under your care.